dating site, Byron and Wendy moved in together, and only 2 months later, they tied the knot. But now, after 7 months of marriage, their rush to the altar has proven disastrous.
He never lets me explain anything. He always tells me he doesn't want to hear excuses.
I've been cheated on so many times, I see the warning signs.
What was said in those 60 days that made you think, I need to move this person in with me?
With only 7 months under their belt, Byron and Wendy have hit a wall.
He shuts me off every time I try to speak.
Well, yes, I see it as rationalizing and justifying.
Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Wendy Smith and Byron Smith. Mr. and Mrs. Smith have been married for 7 months. They met each other 9 months ago on the internet, got married after 2 months, and now 7 months later we are in divorce court. We have some financial matters that we need to resolve, but before we do that, I'm going to start with Mr. Smith. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this relationship and how we ended up in divorce court today?
Well, Your Honor, you know, they say you should test the waters before you jump in and go swimming. But I jumped up off that high dive, hoping to do a swan dive, and I ended up belly flopping, Your Honor.
Well, tell me how the two of you met online. What was the situation or what was getting said? Because it had to be pretty good.
Well, I was going through looking at profiles, and I noticed all of her interests. And I was convinced right from the start that her interests matched mine perfectly. And so I emailed her, I guess, about 3 or 4 times the same exact email. And finally I got a response from her. I guess I caught her attention finally. You know, I kept throwing that line out and reeling it in.
What was that line?
It was my lure.
No. What was the actual line? Or can you not say it?
Well, no, it was respectable. I just straight out basically just told her what I was looking for, and I noticed that her interests were the
similar to
same.
yours. So okay,
And
nothing
it seemed like compatibility.
I got it. And she answered. Then what happened?
Well, a couple months later, she moved in with me.
What was said in those 60 days that made you think, I need to move this person in with me?
Honesty. I'm real high on honesty, Your Honor.
How do you know she's being honest when she's just she could have been a dude. You don't know. I'm not talking about, you know what I mean? But I'm saying you're on the other end of a computer. He doesn't know who's there.
Well, we met. She was sending pictures. We met, and she talked about her kids and her exes, and it was the real thing. I knew it from the jump street.
It was the real thing. So far, Mrs. Smith, is he telling me the story accurately?
Basically.
Okay. What made you comfortable enough to move in with him after only knowing him 60 days?
Well, then those 60 days we were on the phone for hours and hours at a time. Every day. And
how long before you actually met physically in person?
Was it 2 days?
2 days? Oh, okay. So you were seeing each other most of those 2 months.
Yes.
So what happened after she moved in? I mean, it was the real thing. According to you, what happened?
Well, you know, we had an awesome sex life. I hate to do this on air, but our sex life, it was just off the chain. And, you know, and I told her when we started discussing marriage that after marriage, things change. Well, now she says that I always think that I'm right about everything, but unfortunately, I was right about it changing. I mean, to get a loving touch, it's like putting out a fire with gasoline, and I don't have to tell you the price of gasoline these days.
Did it dissipate slowly over time, or did all of a sudden the sex life just stop?
Well, it's like she was losing interest, you know. It's
maybe you shave every now and then.
His face?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's new stuff going around that I've heard about, and I just making sure it wasn't happening.
You gotta give her there's something to appreciate when I do clean up.
Mrs. Smith, have you lost interest in him intimately?
Not really. I mean, just, it's when I'm in the mood.
Yeah. And you're not in the mood as often anymore.
No.
Do you know why?
The less gentleman that he's not anymore.
He's not a gentleman anymore.
No.
What changed? What?
He used to open car doors for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever we go to restaurants, he would open the door, pull out my chair, that kind of stuff. Now it's just
Get out.
casual. Yeah, just.
Mr. Smith, is there any accuracy? I mean, think about it. Could there be any accuracy to that statement?
Yeah, I guess there could be. I guess I've started taking a few things for granted.
Like one thing that she's mad about is that you won't use a handkerchief. When you want to blow your nose, you just hold one side and spin it around. Do you really do that?
I've been a carpenter for almost 20 years, and that's the carpenter handkerchief.
Women don't like that. You know, here's what I have to say about intimacy. Intimacy for women is an all-day activity. And you can't just start the car at the end of the night when you're ready to go. You have to have all-day foreplay. And it doesn't take all day, but during the day, an I love you here, a touch on the neck here, a hand hold there. It'll take you all of 5 minutes, but it has to happen throughout the day so she feels, I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved. Now I'm willing to love you back. That's how it works. It's not hard.
When divorce court continues, does Wendy have something to hide from Byron?
She takes the phone into the bathroom. I've come out into the room that she's in, and she'll close down the laptop lid.
Is the ink on your marriage license barely dry, but you're already ready to call it quits? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
North Texas is taking bold steps.
We're not the same city anymore. Why?
Because the leader never sits still.
At Fox 4, that standard drives us in every newscast. New ways of getting the story,
Making the most of your time.
Fox 4. Thank you for making us the news
Seafood is back at Church's. Get 2 flaky, crispy fish fillets or zesty shrimp with fries and our famous scratch-made biscuit for just $3.99. Only at Church's.
Making ends meet isn't easy, and with my schedule, how can I train for a new career?
At Sanford Brown College, we can show you how. You can complete your training in the growing field of medical assisting faster than you think, with supportive instructors and flexible class schedules.
I can do that. How can I get started?
Call now and we'll send you this complimentary Career Builder Career Guide. Call 855-641-DAY1, 855-641-3291, and turn one day into day one at Sanford Brown.
My name's Daniel. I live here in Orlando. Well, I enrolled in a plan on healthcare.gov. I already had health insurance, but I just wanted to see if I could do a little bit better on the health insurance marketplace, and I did. Once I was on the site, it was pretty easy for me to compare plans. I was able to pick a much higher quality plan than I had before, and because of my income, I only pay about $70 a month for it. Getting coverage this good at this price, I'm thrilled. And hey, I'm covered.
you can be covered too. Go to the health insurance marketplace at healthcare.gov.
He pushed me. The police got called. Were you drunk or sober?
Next Judge Judy. Today at 4 on Fox 4.
How can you walk to the house without her snarling at me?
Next week on Divorce Court.
Ask yourself, am I making it impossible for anything to improve? Were you taking your pills religiously?
Every night.
So you're not pregnant?
I am pregnant.
You feel trapped, I think.
Next week on Divorce Court.
Divorce Court returns with the case of Byron Smith, who fears Wendy, his wife of 7 months, has been cheating on him. But can Wendy do anything to prove her loyalty to Byron?
if you are jealous, if you have trust issues, no matter what she does, you're going to find it distrustful. Because that's something that's going on in your head. Mrs. Smith, it seems that you're kind of closed off and shut down. And I want to know why that happened. Did something go wrong?
I just haven't learned to speak my mind because he shuts me off every time I try to speak.
Do you mean that he's controlling, or he never lets you...
He never lets me explain anything. He always tells me he doesn't want to hear excuses, no matter what it is.
Can you give me an example of a conversation you were trying to have and he just shut it down, put the brakes on it?
Like whenever I picked him up from work one day, I was 10 minutes late, and he started walking already.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to tell him that, traffic, backed up in traffic. He didn't want to hear it. He said, you should have left early. Well, I did. I left 40 minutes when it only takes 20 minutes to get there. Can't help traffic.
Were you mad about that?
I was extremely mad because this was her day off. And she wants to blame it on the traffic when it only takes 20 minutes to get from where I live to my job.
Do you believe that she she simply didn't leave on time? But, sometimes traffic is worse than others. If there's an accident, there's nothing you can do.
I really think she was doing something that I wasn't supposed to know about, because I would text her throughout the day and she wouldn't text me back. Speaking of text, she tries to...
I don't want to speak about text. I want to speak about her inability to speak, because I really think she thinks she doesn't have the right to speak. And once a woman feels like that, she's kind of done. And so I'm trying to get to the root of the problem. Can you give me another example about when he said something to you, or when you said something to him, and you feel like you get shut down?
Well, like whenever we're trying to go somewhere and driving, I take back roads a lot, try to avoid traffic. He gets upset about that, but I try to explain my reasoning why I take the back roads. He doesn't want to hear it. He never lets me explain anything.
So if you don't do something exactly the way he wants you to do it, he gets angry.
He gets
doesn't want
upset,
to.
yes.
Now, is any of that ringing any bells? Is it an all moderately an accurate assessment of what goes on at your house?
Well, yes, I see it as rationalizing and justifying, because I'll be trying to explain to her that what she's doing is annoying me or irritating me, and she goes off and starts giving excuses of why she's going to do it, why she's going to continue to do it, when instead of trying to work on a solution.
What kind of stuff does she do that annoys you?
Well, she takes the phone into the bathroom with her. She says she spends almost 30 minutes in this bathroom.
Oh, whatever.
I come out into the room that she's in, and she'll close down the laptop lid or shut her phone off real fast.
That's because I finished what I was doing.
The thing is, you think she's running around. That's
yes.
really what it is.
Yes. Well, I've been cheated on by every woman I've ever been with, so I understand I could have some trust issues here. But when we married, before we married actually, we agreed we would never give the other one even reason to think it. So when I bring these up and she starts rationalizing and justifying why she's doing it and going to continue to do it, instead of saying, all right, well, let's work on a solution. Now, granted, she has stopped taking her phone into the bathroom with her, but she's still, I walk in the bedroom, she's on it, texting.
First of all, women text a lot. Women text a lot. That's number one. And number two, if you are jealous, if you have trust issues, no matter what she does, you're going to find it distrustful. Because that's something that's going on in your head. And she can't fix that.
When Divorce Court continues, is Wendy coming up a little short on her vow to love, honor, and obey Byron?
She told me she was naturally submissive.
Did you? Do you think you ought to know someone more than 2 months before you move in with them? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers.
We're hitting the road to help America discover the new helper. You've got to try this sweet and sour chicken helper.
I didn't know they made chicken.
Crunchy taco or 4-cheese lasagna? Can I get another one of those, actually? Hey, America, we're here to help.
Oh, this audit will take days. What a headache.
anymore. Except when he does work fast.